My name is Quinn and I live in Northwest Woods. Right now we are at Sam's restaurant on Newtown Lane in the village of East Hampton, and I am the owner of Sam's restaurant. I remember this lady called and she said, I want the pizza and I want you to bring the pizza outside, leave the pizza on the bench, walk away from the pizza. It was like a drug deal almost to get a pizza. And I remember her coming, saying, calling her back, the pizza's on the bench, and looking at her like sneaking up on the thing like it was like a bomb. It was like no mask to people afraid to get out of the car. It was such a wide array of people. We got the news that as of, I believe it was March 17th, I actually remember it because it was St. Patrick's Day, it was a Tuesday. And we got the news that all the bars had to be closed, emptied by 8 p.m. So we knew that was the last day. And then that was it. We came in that day, 7 p.m., had our last tables, said goodbye to our regular customers and closed the door, went home, not knowing what was next. I think it was maybe 10, 12 days after we found out we were essential workers and we could continue on our takeout business, which had its challenges at the beginning because everybody else went to takeout, so containers were like gold. So we were kind of scrambling everywhere. We'd call 4 or 5 companies and then we'd be looking on Amazon, and if we saw them on Amazon, we'd pick up some. But I mean, it was times when we didn't have large pizza boxes, so we would put the large pizza into 2 medium boxes, and then we couldn't start using that because we were using. So some nights we just didn't do large pizzas. You were just stuff that you used to just take for granted all the time. I'll just get 200 containers tomorrow. It was like you were counting the containers, like almost like counting money. You couldn't get paper bags, you couldn't get disposable knives and forks, you couldn't get face masks for the staff. I mean, it was rough. It was definitely the 6th worst weeks I've ever had in business. There was times where you wouldn't have chicken or you wouldn't have this, but people were super understanding of that. But our main focus right at the start, we knew the paper products was going to be the issue. So we really, once we had some of them, we didn't really worry about what we had to put into them. And then people were, they're diverted back to where they were, 18 months ago or 16 months ago. If you said you didn't have chicken, I'll take veal. There was no, oh, you don't have chicken. They were taking whatever you had. So it was very definitely, customers were a lot easier to please because they were just happy to get something. So typically at that time of the year we would have had 14, 15 people, pretty much divided and even split, 7 people in the kitchen, 7 people in front of the house. We did try to keep everybody for the first few months because we kind of had a feeling there was going to be help on the way as far as PPPs and some stuff, but after the 2 months it just became very obvious that this was going to be a long haul, and there was just certain positions we just didn't have anymore. We didn't have, a perfect example right here, this podium, we always had a host, but there was no position because there was nobody to greet. People were coming in and really, really helping out the waitress. We just very quickly just became one pot for everybody, and everybody that was in the front of the house just shared it. So the generosity, people were sending checks from the city and customers were calling with their credit card numbers, not even ordering food. It was, through the really tough times, it really showed the community here and how much this business means to a lot of people, because it's been here so long, and people I've had ladies have their 20th birthday here and their 80th birthday here. So it did mean a lot, and that meant a lot to me personally, which really kept me going through the times. People were coming in here, leaving money at the bar and saying this is for everybody, and it really was a time where the community shined, I believe. We did unfortunately find out that we had lost quite a few people. I think we lost 8, 10, 12 people that we knew to come in, and especially I think we were more affected because our clientele is a lot older here. We do have 2 to 92 as we call it here, but definitely a lot of our mainstay regulars are 60, 70 or 80, so they were the people to be more concerned about. And we did, we actually had one case where we lost both the husband and wife passed. So it was, when the daughters come in and tell you, or the son comes in and tells you, it's hard. I mean, we have people coming here 40, 50 years. And you've seen them coming in together as a couple, and then, when you open up to just come in as just one person, it's a very surreal. So it was a wake-up call for sure. Life is short. One word. Community. I mean, I had neighbours living on my street that I never saw in 15 years that walked by and knocked on the door and asked was everything okay, or I learned a lot about people that I thought were good, generous, decent people that really shone through and came through. And I learned a lot about this community, that even though it's changed so much in the last 10, 15 years, it's still a very small community when everything happened, and when people were asked to stand up and be counted, they were there. And it was definitely something I remember. The generosity of the community, it was something that I won't forget for a while.